Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you that ever since I started my show over 2 years ago, this has been my most favorite guest. He has been on my show more than any other guest, and you're getting ready to find out tonight why this young man, and I tell you, I still don't think he's 30 yet, but he might have hit the mark of 30, but he is probably one of the most talented individuals that I know. I'm talking about in this whole world. It doesn't matter about your age. He does so many things. And he's an Ivy League graduate from Penn. Michelle going to tell you a little bit about him a little bit more in a minute. University of Penn. He's also a graduate to my master's level and higher from USC. He's also working at Yale, associate professor, and doing a lot of other things. Maybe not associate professor, but he's teaching, he's influencing, he's guiding, and he's doing so many great things. But most importantly, he's also the director, my producer, and a lot of things on my newest project, which I have not even shared with my audience that much. It's my brand new audiobook, Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. And this guy is the brains. He's everything that's behind that, and I tell you, Noah, when we talk about it, he's gonna tell you that we are on over 50 platforms. Which, Noah, I haven't said a word to our listening audience about this. Over 50 platforms worldwide that is selling my audiobook, producing it, and doing a lot of great other things. But this guy's so much more than that. If you ever heard of my great friend Isaac Ford, you would know that talking with Isaac influenced me to reach out to this young man right here to do my audiobooks, and this guy is doing audiobooks for everybody that's willing to enlist his services, because he's fantastic, and you're going to hear about some of the things, how he went about coordinating, directing me, and making sure that we have a absolutely fantastic product. So, Noah, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Middle of the week, so looking forward to warp speeding to Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got my absolutely fantastic co-host here, Michelle Cooley. Just like I always said, she does all of the heavy lifting. How you doing, Michelle?
Doing great, James. It is a great day, middle of the week, and I'm just so excited.
Did you say the middle of the week?
Yeah.
So, if it's the middle of the week, you know what the day is, right? It's Friday! No, I lied. It's Wednesday!
Oh,
Today is
God.
hump day!
I don't know.
I hate to say it, James,
That's
but Michelle
horrible.
doesn't even need to say anything.
I know. I know, James.
Well, you know,
If you want to make it Friday, I endorse this movement of me taking tomorrow off.
I know.
No, it's hump day, and it's hump day. And
I'm the champion. Thank you, Noah.
Great job, Michelle.
Well, hold on. Hey, Noah, you're not gonna give her a win.
But by
James.
default, I mean, you said it was Friday.
You said the wrong day of the week.
But Noah, just I did say that because, man, it's been such an impactful week, and every day seems like it's the end of the week, but it's the.
Again, if you want to make it the end of the week, I endorse this movement.
I don't endorse this movement because we got some other fantastic shows coming up this week, but the most important thing that we have tonight is Jordan Colbert. And we're going to talk about audiobooks. We're going to talk about how he is accessible to the whole world. I'm talking about the whole world. And we're going to talk about how he had such a major impact on my new audiobook that I haven't even started promoting yet. But we are getting ready to start doing that right now. And Michelle, you've been a part of the journey every step of the way.
Yes, I have, and you shared some wonderful stories and great admiration for this man that you have worked with on this audiobook. So we can't wait to get and start the show.
Well, I tell you, why don't we do this first? Why don't we introduce this young man to our listening audience? And why don't we do that first? Can you, first of all, tell our listening audience what the title of the show, what the purpose of the show, and then introduce this young man to the show?
Yes, the title of the show is Audiobooks, Access to a Whole New World. The purpose of the show tonight is getting to know the background of published audiobook producer and Yale University's Associate Director of Assistive Technology, Jordan Colbert. Talk about audiobooks and actually what are they, learn how to make an audiobook, and discuss the process of working with authors and our own James Cooley when making an audiobook. Jordan Colbert. Jordan Colbert is from Mays Landing, a small town outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey, receiving a BA in Classical Studies from the University of Pennsylvania and a Master's of Marriage and Family Therapy from the University of Southern California. He's a first-generation philosopher with a strong preference for using science and technology to increase access for people with psychiatric and physical disabilities. Jordan is credentialed as an assistive technology professional with the Rehabilitation Engineering and Assistive Technology Society of North America and a member of the Association on Higher Education and Disability. He previously served as a member of the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists and interned at the MindSight Institute, a research lab for interpersonal neurobiology therapeutic mindfulness practices. He's a published audiobook producer and now works at Yale University as the Associate Director of Assistive Technology in their Student Accessibility Services Office. The James Cooley Show is still live. Welcomes back Jordan Colbert.
Jordan, welcome back to the show.
Hey.
You know, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure working with you, my friend.
2 minutes.
I'm always happy to be on.
You know, I tell you, welcome back to the show, and you know it's going to be many, many more. But we changing our topic, what we normally talk about, and we got like 90 seconds or less. Make it 60 seconds if you can before we take the break. Jordan, can you tell our listening audience a little bit more, just a tad bit more, about you and your background? And we're going to take a station break, and we're going to come back, and we're really going to dive into this.
Yeah, sure. I definitely can do that. So, thank you for all the praises. I definitely appreciate it. I grew up in New Jersey, as Michelle said, with my single mother. I actually have 4 half-sisters and 2 stepsisters from a previous marriage of my mother, but they're all much older than me. So my closest sibling is 16 years older than me. So, you know, it was just really just me and my mom growing up for a lot of the time. And there's some interesting experiences in New Jersey. But, you know, after growing up, I lived with my sister for a little while towards the end, and she pushed me to go to Penn. And I really did my undergrad there, did some research for NASA, where I started learning about sleep and performance, and also worked for, you know, a Camp Kesem, which is one of these volunteer organizations for teenagers. And I was really excited about it. It pushed me towards my therapy degree because I really just wanted to work with students who, you know, who were going through stuff in high school and really getting to learn it. So then I shipped off to Yale.
I tell you, John, hold that thought, because we're going to take a break. But we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the comparisons that you have. 6 sisters, only guy, the only boy. And my comparisons and where I grew up and why we decided to do this project together. And listen, audience, if you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on .com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Alabama.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive.
Can I do that in this segment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have to, because that's we're going to talk about the audiobook. And
yeah, that one's ready to go if you want to play it.
Okay, so
exciting events that we're offering this year, and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause.
Okay.
It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, the true life coming of age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. Order the 3-week quick start now. Discounted to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. Call 800-500-8384. ReliefFactor.com.
Is it possible to get a great education on the left coast? Yes, it is. I'm Dr. David Alexander. At Providence Christian College, we educate students with a thorough grounding in biblical truth, a classic liberal arts core, rooted in a love for Western civilization to produce virtuous citizens who love God and neighbor. Learn more at providencecc.edu. We won't radicalize your kids.
FM 96.1 North County and AM 1170 San Diego. The Answer.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, this guy, young guy, has been on my show over the last 2+ years. He has the record for his guest appearances 6 times. Oh, this is his 6th appearance. And I tell you, so much to learn from this young man. Not only is he a therapist, not only is he a scholar, not only is he a producer or director, he's a man that has so much great confidence in his abilities to do anything he set his mind to. And that's what confidence is all about. And which creates such an enormous character. This man is a man of character. And he might be 30, might not be 30 yet. But
not yet, James.
But well accomplished already. And this is my producer, my director, my guidance when it comes to audiobooks. And Jordan, real quickly, before we get into you producing my audiobook, can you tell our listening audience what is an audiobook? And let's try to keep that to a minute or less if you can.
Yeah. So an audiobook it's basically exactly as it sounds. It is a traditional book that might have been in print form or in ebook form already that is then turned into an audio version, so something that people can hear. Now, there's different ways that this works, but the most prevalent version of this is by a human reader who is reading the book or reading the information out so others can hear it.
Wow. And the reason I asked you that question is because I remember when Isaac Ford, and I hope he's listening tonight, you had just completed, or you was in a process or completing his audiobook, and he's like, JC, you have to get in touch with this guy. You have to reach out. You have to, because he was saying your voice and the way that your book is written, you have to reach out to this guy. I reached out to you, Jordan, and you said, yeah, I do it, but I said I want to get another actor or someone else to voice over the book, because I did not believe that I had, I wouldn't say the confidence, but the abilities to do this. And you sit back and you read the book and you got back in touch with me in about a week and said, JC, you doing this audiobook. Can you tell our listener audience?
Remember that call.
Can you tell our listener audience, when you read the book and just through our conversation, you said I had to do this, and I tried to talk you out of it, but you wouldn't let me. Can you tell our listener audience a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, when you're looking at a book that's really about someone's life, about their personal experiences, it's much more powerful to actually hear it in their voice. I mean, you can hear the emotion. And when I was reading your book, there's some moments in that book where you're really touching on some heavy parts of your life. And that needed to come to life for others. They needed to hear it, because that's what really makes it a memoir, or your story, is your voice and the experience that everybody can feel from it.
Through you accepting and pushing me forward, we have rewritten the book over the last 18 months twice, because we caught so many mistakes in it, and publisher, and we identified to all of those to them, and the book is like brand new right now, And plus, we have an audiobook that's brand new that we don't even talk about. But one of the most important scenes in the audiobook that you pointed out to me was my initial visit or transition to Graham, Alabama. And I know we got Noah. If you have that clip, can you play that, and then Jordan and I will talk about it a little bit more. On December 1st, 1965, I became a member of this town of Graham, Alabama, along the Georgia-Alabama state line, where maybe 200 souls call home today. Here, we made our own heat. We had our own land and wood and passes to explore. We had our own food from our trees of peaches, walnuts, and pecans, or from our fields of peanuts, potatoes, and tomatoes. Here, there was no more gunshots. Wow. I don't want to give away too much of it, Jordan, but it's so much more. But you locked in on that clip, and you said, JC, you're doing it. Can you tell our listening audience just a little bit about what that clip meant to the director, the producer, and you putting together, because you put together everything, and making sure that we had a first class piece of work?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, that's the introduction of your life. Right there, that moment, that clip really captures essentially, the way that you're going through this experience. It's very, very clear that the comparisons with that last line of, here, there was no more gunshots. And, when you hear that from you, it's much different than hearing that from anybody else. And so to give these readers an introduction to who you are, that clip is essential, because that's really capturing you as a child, developing and even recognizing those differences.
Jordan, I'm sure you have different experiences working with different authors on audiobooks. What was your experience like working with James Cooley on this audiobook?
Oh, man. Talk about an experience. It was actually, it was phenomenal. I kid. But it was a lot of hard work. We had to do, a lot of retakes, but that's going to happen with anybody. It really came down to, it was always fun because JC had a good attitude, even when we're spending
3 minutes,
12 hours, a day recording, trying to get this just right. And, JC had a good attitude. He was always laughing. Always, sometimes his stories and his snacks kind of extended the recording period, but it was good because I got to learn so much more about him. And even just in comparison to the book, you see the real J.C. Cooley.
What have you learned about James Cooley that surprised you during this process working with the audiobook?
Well, I would definitely say his persistence. That reading through the book, you see that he's gonna be resilient. He's gonna strive and make steps forward. But when we were sitting there really doing this work together, I noticed how persistent he was, because he was like, yes, we're going to get this done. If we have to go till 3 a.m, we're going to go to 3 a.m. to get through this chapter. I don't care how many mistakes I make, we'll redo it over and over. And that persistence really stood out. I was like, wow.
2 minutes.
That's, that's commendable for your project.
Wow. I tell you, Jordan, I remember, and I call it pain, because you are such a perfectionist, and producing, directing, and also help rewriting. It was many times that I wanted to say, and I like, okay, man, we've been doing this same chapter over for the last 6 hours. And you said, I don't care. We're going to do it until we get it right.
That's right.
That type of persistence and having the right people in your corner to make sure that you deliver an absolutely fantastic product is so important. Now, I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back. And we're going to tell our listening audience how you was able to get my book on 50 worldwide platforms when our idea was just one in the beginning. But I tell you, we're going to come back. If you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
There is much truth in a journey that ain't over yet, as all of us journey through life's precious gift of time, just like I have. Hi, I'm James Cooley, host of the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And in the new audio version of my book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, you can join me as I share my true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. This is a must listen to for anyone who think they're stuck in life or need to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to be an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and a more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of my book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet on Amazon and wherever audiobooks are sold.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Answer San Diego, streaming now on iHeart.com and Odyssey.com.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, we got this absolutely fantastic guest, Jordan Colbert, who is my director, my producer, the guy that put together everything as it relates to my brand new audiobook, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet. And this guy is so incredible, so thorough. And if you are in the process of writing a book, if you got your script already laid out or whatever that is, world, you need to reach out to this guy, because I'm telling you that he's going to make sure that you get it right. In time, you need to set aside the time because it's all about the product. It's all about the product, and that's what he is concerned with, is making sure that whatever the companies that are enlisting or thinking about your services, that he's going to make sure that he deliver. And if you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Jordan, first of all, I just want to say, I believe, and you already know the exact numbers, how did you go about getting my book on 50 plus multiple platforms when ideally we were just thinking about one platform, but you said no, we're going to get them all? And the persistence of what it took, because each platform, and you explained that shortly, had different criteria. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, a big mantra that I like to live with, because I'm from sports, is go big or go home. And so, you know, when you're like, yeah, we're going to try and do it on one platform, it was like, let's you know, see what we can do out there. Let's see how big we can actually make this. And so going through the process of getting set up and doing all the contracts with one specific vendor, I realized that across the board, they, like you said, they had their different contracts, they had their different, you know, processes and the amounts that they were going to take from you. Whereas I was able to just continue researching these platforms that I know, and I found a service called Authors Republic, which actually allows us to bring everything together, package one specific contract, and then have that contract facilitated across the various platforms across the world. And so it was kind of like, all right, we're putting this together, trying to figure out which one's going to give us the best deal, when in reality, we could just get them all.
And you know what? We got them all. I still don't know how you did that. But not only did we get all of those contracts, but as you know, over the last 6-7 months, my appearances and my requests on talk shows and books and magazines, all of those have increased tremendously, and I'm still getting requests almost every day, and I pick and choose which ones I want to be part of, but all of that comes from persistence, comes from the producer and the director of this audiobook and things that we are doing, and we're going to continue to do that. So my question to you, and a lot of people might not understand that you just don't do an audiobook in a week or 2 weeks or 3 months. Can you tell? I can only go by what you made me do. It took us about 5-6 months to actually, and it took a little longer than that, to perfect everything in order to meet the contractual obligations of all the different platforms. Can you tell our listener on this, it's not all about you writing a manuscript and getting your book published, but it's a lot more work than that.
Yeah, it certainly is a lot more work than just writing the book. Writing the book is half the battle. And then really, you know, being able to consistently kind of read, also keep these, you know, your momentum going throughout these long reading sessions, that's important too. But then on the back end, after, you know, you've perfected learning how to read your story, what that means, and you really feeling it, because it's very different to read and be recorded than to just read, you know, in your head, or to read out loud, you know, short bursts. And those 6 months that we worked on it was really working on, you know, working on your interaction with your material and your story. Now, on the back end, though, after that, trying to meet all those contractual agreement aspects, that is a lot of audio editing, doing a lot of manipulation of the voices, a lot of the pulling out all the background noise, and making sure that everything flows appropriately. Takes a lot of tedious work that sometimes it's like I'm listening to less than a millisecond of the audio at a time.
Wow. And not only was that, but because I'm a talk show host, and I have been on the air almost 2 years. By you holding me to the standards, you also develop my broadcasting, my hosting, everything that I do, from a live perspective, from a pre-recorded perspective, from everything dealing with the public. And you and my great producer, Noah Dingley, is the reason, I believe, and I think that Michelle and I have come a long way over the last year or so in perfecting our talk show host abilities and skills. And so I just want to say, I got my new book coming out. I mean, soon. I don't know how soon. But the audiobook perspective, I got you. Again, and I would not want anybody else to do this other than you. And I know my great producer, Noah Dingley, is contemplating and working on his books. Great talk show host, great writer, and I hope he's listening to what we're talking about, because I believe that you're one of the best in the business.
Oh, thank you, JC. You're real kind. It's tough work, trying to be perfect all the time. But hey, we strive for it.
Jordan, audiobooks are great. There's so many advantages to, going through and doing, and not only doing, but also choosing an audiobook as a reader or listener. Are there any disadvantages to using an audiobook, in your opinion?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. And I actually hear it often when I'm giving these to my students who have disabilities. The idea is that, just the audio won't keep me engaged. I'll be listening to it, but if I'm doing other things, I'm not really listening to it. It's kind of
3 minutes
background noise for me, and I may miss out on it. And so that's one of the disadvantages that can show up. It can be distracting. Or it can just, fall into the background as background noise, like I was saying. And in a lot of those cases, you'll miss sometimes you miss out on things like spelling, because you may not know how to spell somebody's name who might be in this book. You might miss out on some of the graphics. There's no imagery with these type of books. And so, when they're using that, a person using that might miss out on any of that additional information that might be packed into it.
Wow. So it really depends on preference. Is that what you're saying? Some readers prefer an actual physical book in front of them, as well as others may prefer just listening into an audiobook. I mean, I know people who are like split 50-50. So I guess it depends on where you are at and maybe what setting you are. Do you find yourself, Jordan, listening to audiobooks and then sometimes actually reading a physical book?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So the good thing about audiobooks is that you can pair it with that physical book if you wanted to. And so that's actually what we do for students who have disabilities, is that we get them audio versions. Now, theirs aren't full audiobooks all the time where a human is reading it. Sometimes it's a program that is reading it out to them and highlighting the words. And so to be able to follow along, hear it and see it if you have that ability, audiobooks actually originated because we needed books on tape for people who could not read print. And so, there's those benefits as well. So sometimes it's not preference, sometimes it's ability.
Wow, I tell you, Jordan, with the changing of times, today's times, most people that I know would prefer to listen to an audiobook during the time they're driving or whatever they're doing and walking, opposed to sitting back reading the book. And so you have to go with the times, and you have to go with technology. And I tell you, we're going to take a station break. But when we get back, we're going to continue to pick up this great conversation with this great young man. I call him friend and friend for life. And I'm still trying to get him to do his story. But if you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that would... October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today.
Sounds good.
Challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. The true life coming
How much time we got back?
by James J.C. Cooley, using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling
10 minutes.
Okay.
about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. He lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley.
Okay, sounds good.
Books are sold.
Let's ring in the new year by checking off an important to-do. Your old videotapes and photos are fading as each year passes. VCRs are becoming extinct, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most cherished memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselog.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your captured moments by converting all your videotapes, photos, and even film reels into perfectly preserved digital files.
Legacy Box is the easiest resolution to do and can be done in minutes. Just fill your Legacy Box, send it in, and we'll send it back with your memories perfectly preserved.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
Let's kick off the new year right by rescuing your memories that haven't been watched or enjoyed in years.
Order your Legacy Box today.
Go to legacybox.com/lbox for 40% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/lbox for 40% off. legacybox.com/lbox.
The Answer San Diego, streaming now on TuneIn.com and Odyssey.com.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, on the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, this guest here is... I've been on the show more than any guest that I have had, and I believe that you all are understanding why. He's such an incredible young man, such a brilliant young man, so talented in all the things that he does. And I tell you, we're not even talking about any of those things other than his production and producing of audiobooks tonight. If you listen to any previous shows and you listen to a couple more that's coming up real soon, you're going to discover every time you hear this guy's name, you're going to hear something different about him. And Noah, I'm going to tell you, man, what our listening audience is listening to today, if they met this young man, they would be incredibly impressed, because he is who he is. He is what he say. He is Jordan Colbert.
It goes back to that thing that we talk about so often on the show, JC, which is, having that authentic self, which is, it just shines. When you are you, people can see it a mile away.
And that's what it's all about, is being you, regardless of whatever the situation or circumstances might be. Things change every single day, but being you, being authentic, never ever change in a person's character unless it's bad character. Bad character comes in two ways: good character and bad character. Whatever you are, that's who you are. And I'm just so happy that I get an opportunity to chat with this guy, work with this guy. Looking forward to continue to working with him. And Jordan, thanks so much, my friend. And Noah, can we play that other clip of what Jordan produced in my book? At that time, school principals could punish you with a paddle with holes cut out of it to give your behind an extra sting. And of course, I was first up. Drop your drawers, Mr. White instructed. Slowly, I did as I was told. The others in my crew, now standing behind me, bust out laughing. My face burned. I thought, Mama told me not to wear those underwear. Let me explain what drop those drawers means. I grew up poor, extremely poor, and in the project. And we had animals like rats or whatever. And just being poor, they eat whatever they are. And the name of this portion of the book is called The Holy Underwear. And during the time when I was in elementary school or junior high, the principal had permission from your parents, from everybody, when you stepped out of line to whoop your butt with the paddle. And he didn't just whoop your butt, he make you drop and whoop it so you can feel the pain. So in this particular case, it was 7 of us that cut class and went to the library, and the principal caught us, and he whooped all of our butts. And I was the first one up, and my mom told me that morning, do not wear them underwear. And the only thing that was left of the underwear was a ring around the waist, and everything else had a hole in it. And so he dropped it, and I said, wow, why did I get in trouble today? He whooped my butt. As soon as I pulled it out, all my friends started laughing, and they did not care about the butt whipping that they was going to get following me. It was just wow. And the principal felt sorry for me. He only gave me 2 licks and said, blah, blah, pull up your pants. And so, hey, Noah, that's where that comes from, just in case that was misleading.
Oh, I put it together. I don't really have any confidence, man, but definitely a humorous. I mean, it's humorous, but it's not at the same time.
It was
sad that stuff had to happen back then,
No. It needed to happen back then, Noah. It needed to happen back then because that's how we learned. That's how we created. And that's how we learned to be obedient, because you never wanted to go to the principal's office because you know what was going to happen.
So much different nowadays, huh?
It's so different today, Noah, and everybody had to be politically correct when it comes to certain things, and you cannot educate our youth, and you cannot. I'm not saying that it's abuse or anything, but if you lay your hands on one of our kids, they ready to take you to court.
You can barely look in a kid's direction the wrong way without somebody getting bent out of shape. It's like you said, it's politically correct, and it's just a sensitive time.
It's a sensitive time, but I am still locked back into old times where discipline, understanding, character, kids are able to go out and play with each other and understand that you have to obey your elders. You have to obey not just your parents, but the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood is able to whoop your butt and tell your parents at that time what you did. And not just that, but when you get home, you're going to get another whooping. So not in a negative way where they're going to hurt you, but where they teach you.
I'm just curious to find out from Jordan before we run out of time here on the show, JC. I know we're going to be closing it out, but what he thinks, because you often hear people don't have time to read, and that's where a lot of people listen to audiobooks because they can listen in their car. It's a very easy format. If he thinks there's any other reasons why people enjoy audiobooks, or if there's another benefit to them as opposed to just picking up a copy of Country Boy, City Boy, a hard copy, and reading that.
Yeah, I mean, you really hit the nail on the head. Sometimes it's like we need to have a divided mind. Some people, although research shows, multitasking ultimately lowers, the ability of everything, some people need a lot of stimulation in order to learn. And so if they're doing other things, you might have heard of the basketball player that needs to dribble their basketball while they're listening to, a lecture or, reading material. It's kind of like giving that benefit there where you're stimulating yourself to do multiple things. But it's also, like we were saying, there's other ways that it can be used, whether it's, for a disability. That might be a whole new reason why you might need audiobooks or like them more than a traditional book, because the traditional print book might be really hard for you to actually read.
That's so true, Jordan. My grandmother, in the later years of her life, one of the things she loved to do was reading, but she couldn't do it because she started losing her eyesight. So what did she do? Audiobooks were her best friend. She loved them.
Yeah, that's exactly, the way that my students...
90 seconds.
Oh, it's like I kind of said, it's a whole new world when you delve into this audiobook aspect.
Wow. Hey, Jordan, so we're down to the last 75 seconds of the show, but for inspiring authors out there, or people that want to reach out and turn their work into audiobooks, 30 seconds or less, how can they get in touch with you? How can they get a great product like what you have done for me and that you're getting ready to do with my next book? How can they get in touch with you about that?
Sure. So we're launching our website
1 minute
the month. So that will be opticity.com, OPISITY.com. And right now our email is working. We've had our email working for quite some time, where we accept, inquiries at info@opticity.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter at JoeCoATP.
Hey, thank you so much, Jordan. And you know that I got to have you back on in a couple of weeks, because we're going to pick up segment 6 of your show if you are available. So, listen, audience, thank this great man for bringing this great content and telling us about audiobooks, books in general, and he's just such a wealth of knowledge. So, Jordan, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I'd like to thank my great co-host, Michelle Cooley, for always taking the time to be on the show. I'd like to thank my great producer, Noah Dingley, for always being here and making sure that we get a great show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our listening audience for always listening. And I tell you, we're always looking for a sponsor so we can continue to bring this great message. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.
Thanks for
flat out ran out of time, man.
James Cooley.
Man, this was
to learn more about James, how you can support the show or become a guest, visit CooleyFoundation.org. Join James weekdays at the same time for more motivation and inspiration to help you be.
Man, it's good to have a resource when I get that far, dude.
Oh, you gonna
It's
get
your
there.
life,
I mean,
where
it's
you
all
learn
about
how to dream big,
inspiration.
think big, and be big.
Well, that's why, like, the mutual connection, like, Isaac has inspired me so much, man. You have no idea how much I value that man. I think he's pretty incredible.
Highlight
Isaac
your
is a
year.
great man.
I'm headed to Israel in
And,
November
I tell you,
2022.
we hope to have him on the show again in the next week or so, 2 weeks.
Good.
And I know you got Danger Man coming up. And that's going to be absolutely fantastic. He's going to be coming up on mine again real soon as well.
Yeah, we've decided he's going to do a safety update. I mean, I'm going to have him for regular interviews, but he's also going to start doing a once a month, just a quick, like, 3-minute hit, talking about just, you know, what's the most important thing to do to keep safe. So that'll be kind of a neat thing too.
You got a great guy doing that, man. And I tell you what, let me switch over to this Zoom.
19.
Hey, thanks so much, my friend.
You are more than welcome.
Great shows coming up tomorrow and the next day.
565
And
5519.
you know, hey, thanks. And I'll talk to you in a minute.
Israel Talk.
Sounds good, bud.
All right.
I sent a chat to Jordan to stay on the Zoom,
gone.
but he left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said he had a meeting.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Have you unplugged it?
No,
Or just turn it off first?
just turn off.